Hey, it's me, Haley Jones. Let's talk about getting 2803 Brooks Avenue sold. We're going to talk about strategy. We're going to talk about constraints. We're going to talk about inspection issues. I'm going to show you some of the ads results of the ads that I ran to market this property, all the things. So here's a little context about this. First of all, these sellers, where did they come from? Why did they hire me? These sellers were a referral from clients I was working with to sell their home. They were friends of my current clients, and my current client said, hey, you need to call Haley because they knew these people were trying to sell this property. So that's where these clients came from. So a referral from another client, basically. And then in terms of the property itself and the context, so 2803 was a 2-bed, 1-bath investment property. They were using it for short-term rental purposes. Very close to downtown Knoxville, was having great cash flow, very successful. Okay, so keep that in mind. They bought 2803 Brooks Avenue because they had a huge short-term rental. This is before I knew them. They had a much bigger property, but they had small children. And so the larger property was too much to manage because they were self-managing. They didn't use like a management company. They self-managed the property. So they downsized from this huge thing that had a lot of maintenance down to a 2-bed, 1-bath, just under 1,000 square feet, which was Brooks Avenue. So in the process of that, as I mentioned, they had kiddos. Long story short, Brooks Avenue and self-managing it started to become too much as they've got 4 kids, okay? It was a lot. It was a lot for them. And even though it was doing well financially and has a great occupancy rate, etc., it was just too much between the children and their own house. And so they decided, you know what? We want to actually invest in the house we're living in, add a bathroom, that kind of thing, because that is kind of more where they're going to be currently as their forever home. So it just made more sense for them to actually get the money out of Brooks Avenue and move on, be able to live without the stress of managing a short-term rental and 4 small children, and also would allow them to make changes to their own house that they were living in full time. So that's kind of the backstory of the house. Some concerns when I first met with them about listing this property was, number one, we are actively renting this property. We do not want to lose the current income, but we also don't want to hinder showings. We do not want to cancel any bookings that we already have, and we don't want to stand in the way of future bookings. And so this is actually not a huge problem, because the thing is that if someone's an investor type person, they want to purchase a property that's doing well, right? If they're purchasing this to invest in, it's not necessarily bad that they can't see it. Now, obviously, we don't want to restrict showings. So we let people know, like, hey, those people check out at 11. You can't go at 10, you can go at 11, but just bear in mind, it's not gonna be clean yet, right? So, there needs to be some give and take and full communication about what's happening with the property, what's going on, etc. So that was kind of one consideration. Just because you're renting it, it does not hinder. If people want to see the house, they're gonna come see the house, period. Now, obviously, sometimes people are in from out of town and blah, 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 whatever, but a lot of times investor types don't even, if the numbers number, you know what I'm saying? They don't even look at the property. So that's another kind of thread of this, right? But all of that is overcomeable. We did not stop any bookings. We didn't hinder any bookings or anything like that to accommodate showings, and actually even for inspections, we did not. We didn't need to, because even though it was booked, we knew like, okay, this person comes out at 11, these people check out, so we have this window of time that we can use, etc. So that's one thing. The other thing is that they wanted to sell fully furnished, and they had actually done a ton of updates, a ton of work. It was super cute. They made it so nice inside. So selling it furnished was a huge plus, and also geared itself more towards a investment type buyer, which I bring that up because that also comes into the pricing. So this property, we priced aggressively to begin with because there was nothing that was fully furnished like this house, right? But we knew that was an aggressive price point. We knew like that was in the most ideal of all worlds. But we also knew it wasn't so much to hinder traffic or whatever. So we did price aggressively on this because, again, there's nothing furnished at this value in terms of like the income it was bringing in, occupancy rate, etc. So anyways, their goal was, yeah, we want to get this sold. We're not necessarily we don't need to do this quickly, but we do want to get this sold eventually, and we want to have it furnished. Because can you imagine? You don't want to have to come and move out all the furniture that you furnished specifically for this property, while you also have full-time jobs and 4 children and all this. So that was one thing that was like, absolutely, we are selling this furnished. So that was like a hard, this is happening. So that's kind of the context. Now, in order to prepare this house to be listed, there were some little like ticky-tack, I call them ticky-tack repairs. So for example, the blinds in some of the rooms were broken. There was like light bulbs that needed to be replaced. One of the closet doors, like those slider doors that always freaking fall off the track, one of those needed to be, put back up. So there was just little things like that needed to be addressed. And then for photos, it was pretty much already photo ready because it's already staged as a nice place to stay. So there wasn't really any staging that needed to go on other than like I took stuff off countertops if there was like a soap or whatever. So in terms of like actually getting this property ready to photograph and list, the only kind of thing that was more of a heavy lift, if I could even use the term heavy lift, was the landscaping in the front. There's a lot of like overgrowth and shrubs. So we did some just black mulch in the front, some little flowers in the flower beds, made it look nice, made it cute. So that was just the prep phase. And other than that, it was pretty much ready to go just because, with that type of property, it stays clean, it stays ready, it stays pretty much maintained. And also if you have a successful short-term rental, you've made it cute. You've made it look nice and it's sterile enough. It's not like we needed to take down portraits of whatever, right? So it was pretty much already ready. So for photo and video, as we always do professional photo, professional video. Professional photo, because your first impression is obviously online. And then also the video, we do several formats. So we did multiple short version vertical. So vertical, that's like what you see on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, the shorts, YouTube shorts. So we did multiple of those. I also had a campaign in the background about short-term rentals and just things to know, just market information. And we also shot those videos within this house to give the house more exposure, right? And then we also have MLS videos, which are just a video tour. They are unbranded and that goes directly with the listing. So if somebody clicked on the listing, they can see the whole video tour. And then we have another one that goes to my YouTube channel that is me discussing and explaining and basically presenting the house. Here's things to know. So that's the kind of different assets that we had. I also did a live tour across multiple channels of this house to market it. And then paper-wise, I sent postcards within a 2-mile radius to owners of houses that were non-occupants. So essentially what I was trying to do, or what I was doing, not trying, is what I did is target buyers who are investors within a 2-mile radius, right? So we sent postcards to them as well. And those actually got some calls, which is what we want, right? The other thing on the marketing side is all those vertical video assets, those get ad spend behind them as well as the professional video. So for example, this is just from like one campaign, but you can see this is a carousel ad. So that's just photos. So 365 link clicks just from the carousel ad, which is pretty strong, right? And then some of the other videos, the longer form videos, we had 5932 video plays, average of 8 seconds. That is a lot. 8 seconds of watching a video is very good. You can even see that graph. Like, this is great trajectory. So that was a traffic ad. One of them though, like, look at the difference. So this one did great. This one, not good. And this was just more of a like preview video, and this was me talking about the house. And then everybody that saw these ads as well as the carousel ads that I just showed you, those people retargeted back, and we got 23,000 views on that one. So all of that breaks down to hours of watch time, hours of exposure. The more exposure, the more people that see a house, the more money that house is going to make. So that's some of the marketing that went behind the property. Then once we had the house under contract, the buyer is an investor and they submitted their offer. We did a little bit of negotiation here and there and then got under contract. They did have a traditional home inspection. We negotiated for them to be purchasing as is, so no repairs. And for this specific reason, it was based on price point, where they were coming in at their offer. but also as an investor type and having been a rental, the buyers wanted to do a home inspection, but they were not going to be asking for repairs. And then the other piece of that was just coordinating the repairs around current rental schedule. And so again, that's easy. You know, they had requested a day that was rented, that didn't work, and we were able to accommodate inside their inspection window. And also the sellers are flexible, right? So in this situation, if you've got a short inspection window, but it's rented their whole inspection window, like that's not gonna make sense. So on the sell side, we're gonna accommodate to make sure the buyers can get done what they need to do, as long as it's reasonable, right? Like we're not gonna give you a 30-day inspection period, but if it's rented for the next 7 days and you put 7 days in the contract, you're not gonna be able to get your inspection done. So that being said, we worked through all of that. Although this was the first time that I got a call because they wanted to inspect like the shed, a metal shed. They're like, where's the key? And my guy was in a meeting, my seller was like, you don't need, it's a metal shed. But anyways, I guess they had thought it was an outbuilding. It was not a building, it was literally a metal shed. So that was the only thing that was kind of like wonky on this, but it was totally fine. It's a metal shed, he's got a mower in there. It was fine. So anyways, all that being said, then of course we had appraisal. Appraisal came back totally fine, we were glad because again, pricing, it was a little bit wonky. There were no really comps for it because of what it was. And, you know, from an investor standpoint, the numbers needed to number, and the numbers absolutely did number on this one. Like they did make sense. So anyways, that being said, at the end of the day, my seller's goals were to walk away with a profit, which they did. They were happy with their profit actually, which is even better, and sell the house furnished and not have to like move everything out, and also sell the house while they were still making money on it. Here's the thing. They rented that sucker until the Sunday before the Monday we closed. Sunday, 11 a.m. someone checks out. Within 24 hours, it was closed. So that goal was far exceeded for sure. So anyways, that's a little bit about selling 2803 Brooks Avenue. I hope this has been helpful, insightful, and just, you know, kind of how we do some of the strategy when it comes to ads for the videos, when it comes to every house. There's a general format, right? But not every house is a rental property. Not every house is a historic home. Not every house is a new construction. Not every house is minutes to downtown Knoxville. Not every house is on 5 acres. So we have a general formula, and that general formula is it ready to market? Number one, what do you need to do to get it ready to market? Create the marketing assets, list, make it showable, like it's accessible as much as possible, and then we market it. Ads, organic, postcards, all the things. So anyways, and then we work through contract negotiations. We get to the closing table. That is a very simplified version of the process in general, but you get what I'm saying. So anyways, that being said, congrats to my sellers, and congrats to the buyers. You got a new house.
We are here. It's 2803 Brooks Avenue. So cute. Look how cute is this. Look at all the parking. Tons of parking down the side, as well as you've got the turnaround here. And then downtown is just down that street. It's just super cute. And this is furnished. So it'll be sold fully furnished. So all of this that you're seeing, love the accent wall, super cute, really nice place to hang out, very, very cute. Open floor plan, so you've got a little dining area here. Love the windows, love the light fixture, it's so cute. You've got LVP luxury vinyl. Little window over the sink, so nice. You've got dishwasher, everything you need. Again, all of this comes furnished, so everything you're seeing, you get to have. I love the paint choices, super neutral, really nice aesthetic. And then you have another closet here as well. And this one does have some like storage like built in or whatever, so that's nice. Really cute vanity, toilet obviously, Love the aesthetic with the light. This laundry room is. You've got a utility sink. Yes, ma'am. Washer and dryer.